Welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be making red velvet cake. With Valentine's Day coming up, this is the perfect cake to make for your significant other or for yourself. No judgment here. We're not going to make a traditional red velvet cake. We are going to add strawberry jam on top and in the middle with the cream cheese, obviously. It's going to be absolutely delicious. Fun fact for you. Did you know that the red velvet cake actually originated in the Victorian era? It was considered a luxury. That's why they added the word velvet. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, to start off, we are going to take 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and a ½ teaspoon of salt. And then mix that up. And then we're going to set that to the side. Then we're going to separate 4 eggs. Next, what we want to do is we want to whisk up the 4 egg whites. So what we're going to do is we are going to mix these egg whites up until we can get peaks. So there's that peak that we're looking for right there. To start the wet ingredients, what we're going to do is we're going to add a ½ cup of butter and 2 cups of sugar. And then we're going to mix this until it is combined and smooth.
Then we're going to add a ½ cup of oil,
our 4 egg yolks,
a tablespoon of vanilla extract, and a teaspoon of distilled white vinegar. Then we're going to go ahead and mix this up.
Every once in a while, you're going to want to stop and scrape down the edges so that everything gets mixed thoroughly. So what we're going to do next is we are going to take our dry ingredients and a cup of buttermilk and mix it into our current mixture. We're going to go back and forth. We're going to do this in about 2 to 3 increments until it's all combined.
Now that we have our stiff egg whites, what we're going to do is we're going to fold this into the existing batter. So we're just going to slowly incorporate this into the other batter, stirring it gently. You don't want to bust the bubbles that are inside the egg whites. This is what's going to help make the cake fluffy.
So before we pour the batter into our pans, what we're going to do is we're just going to spray it down with some cooking oil. And then we're going to take a dash of flour and then just kind of put it in there. We're going to scoot the flour around. This is going to prevent the cake from sticking to the sides. So now that we got our floured heart pan, we're going to pour about half of the batter in there. Typically, you don't have to use a heart pan. I know we're being fancy for Valentine's Day, but typically what you can do is you can use a 9-inch round cake pan. Typically, you'd use about 2 of these and then spread the batter out evenly. In this case, we only have 1 heart-shaped pan, so we're going to pour about half the batter in, cook it, and then take that out and then cook the other half.
Then we're going to bake this at 350 for about 30 to 32 minutes. So after we had finished baking the first cake, what we realized is we forgot to add the red food coloring. You know, the most important part of, red velvet cake.
I've made a huge mistake.
So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add enough red food coloring to make this cake a bright red. Next, you're going to want to take the cake and put it on a wire rack. This will allow the cake to cool, allowing us to add the frosting without it melting later on. Next, we're going to want to make the cream cheese frosting. For this, we're going to add about 16 ounces of cream cheese, 3/4 a cup of unsalted butter. Then we're going to mix the butter and the cream cheese in the mixer until it's smooth. 5½ cups of confectioner's sugar. Then we're just going to thoroughly mix this until it's all combined. Side note, we only ended up using about half of this cream cheese frosting. One thing you can do with the extra, if you have any, is you can put it in the freezer and use it for another cake at a later time. Next, we're going to make the strawberry jam. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 cups of strawberries, a cup of sugar, and a dash of lemon. And then we're just going to boil this for a little bit. This will thicken up as we boil it. Once it's gotten to about this kind of a consistency, what we're going to do is we're going to take it off the heat and transfer it to a bowl. Then what we're going to do is we're going to chop and blend this until it's smooth. And once you have it smooth, what we're going to do is we're going to transfer it into the fridge. That way it can cool so we can add it on top of the cake. Next, we're going to cut the tops off the cake. And then we're going to go ahead and ice this on up.
Ice, ice, baby.
No, not that type of ice. We're adding icing. So we're just going to add icing to the first layer. Then we're going to add our strawberry jam. Next, we're going to take the leftover cake, put it in the food processor along with some red dye, and then just blend this up. Then we're going to take this coarse mixture and just put it on the sides of the cake. If you can do this without making a mess, I'm really proud of you. Then we're just going to build up a little bit of a wall on top. This is just to keep the jam from going over the sides. And then last but not least, we're just going to pour the rest of the jam on top of the cake.
All right, so there we have it. We have our red velvet cake with a strawberry jam on top and in the middle with the cream cheese frosting. So without further ado, let's try it. That's delicious. You have chocolate and strawberry and cream cheese. Oh, I mean, what's not to love about any three of those, right? I mean, it's all sugar, right? All right, well, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can get notified when we make new videos. Until next time, we'll see you later.